There are times in life when the truth does not just come knocking, it kicks in the door, and when it comes, it doesn't whisper. It roars. You know that sick feeling when you turn around and find that everything you believed was firm, family, loyalty, love, was actually constructed upon shifting sand. That is where this novel starts. Not with a bang, but with a crack. With a slow, splintering noise that nobody wanted to hear, until it was too loud to deny. It's odd, isn't it? How the ones who are closest to us, the ones we share our tables, our houses, even our faith with, can often be the very same ones to hold in their hearts the deepest betrayals. Perhaps you've lived long enough to understand that trust isn't a word, it's a risk, and sometimes more is lost than you ever intended to wager. Here in this tale, we enter a courtroom. Not any courtroom, but one laden with years of suppressed emotion. A place where silence is heavier than words, where each sideways glance is laden with history. The atmosphere is different here. Richer, denser, as if it is loaded with ghosts of decisions taken long ago. At the helm of it all is a man who used to refer to himself as the head of a family. To the outside world, he taught unity, faith, and devotion. Behind closed doors, however, another reality was taking shape, one founded on fear, manipulation, and control. And now that reality has caught up with him to this point. Seated across from him are the women who once believed him with all their hearts. They had dreams, children, houses, and hurt. They constructed a life out of his words, only to find those words penned in ink that faded away. You can feel the tension when they enter the room. Christine, strong, calm, but you can spot the flames burning in her eyes. The type of resilience that comes only after years of being disbelieved. Janelle, she's not soft-spoken, but neither is she breakable. She stands like a woman who's tired of being nice. Meri, arms crossed, face impassive, but her silence speaks volumes. And then there's Robyn, once thought of as the golden child, now shaking beneath the same limelight she shared with him. It's the sort of moment where you freeze. Because in your heart, you know this isn't about money, or forms, or lawyer lingo. It's something much older, much more intimate. It's about trust being broken. The gradual weakening of something that's sacred. Perhaps you've witnessed it yourself. A family divided not by miles but by lies. A marriage that seemed flawless in front of everyone else, while in the midst, the crack in the foundation began to set in. Perhaps you've even experienced it. Shocked to discover the one you stood up for all those years may not be worth defending after all. And here, in this courtroom, where hands shake and voices rise, that same discovery plays out before our eyes. When charges are hurled, when old wounds are reopened, and when the truth, raw, ugly, irreducible, finally gets up to testify. What makes it so compelling isn't the scandal. It's the humanity of it all. The tragedy of seeing people who loved each other once find themselves on opposite sides of a court fight. The wife who can't seem to make up her mind whether she's angry or just broken-hearted. The husband who constructed his universe on control, now seeing it dissolve in front of cameras, microphones, and the very women he assumed would never turn against him. There's something saddening about seeing power slip from one's grasp, particularly from someone who believed he could never lose it. And yet, that's what makes this narrative so honestly, painfully true. Because at the end of it all, this is not just his ruin. It's the reckoning of all of us who remained quiet for too long. The court doesn't forgive. It's indifferent to tears and titles and TV glory. It listens, remembers. And when the proof comes out to play, a paper trail of money, deception, and manipulation, it's not about who swore what. It's about who still has the guts to speak the truth. You can sense it in each hesitation, each trembling breath, each glance away rather than reply. And during it all, there's this hushed, hurting question suspended in the air. How did it come to this? How does a man end up preaching about family cohesion and finding himself accused of betraying the same people who constructed that family with him? How do decades of devotion, sacrifice, and common dreams dissolve into allegations, lawyer handshakes, and locked-up bank accounts? Perhaps that is why this is such a disturbing story. It's not theirs. It's a reflection held up against something larger. It's about how love and power can get all tangled up until you don't know one from the other. It's about how control can masquerade as concern. And how sometimes the truth doesn't exactly set people free. It just reveals who was already imprisoned. But this is what it is. When truth eventually breaks through, it doesn't request permission. It simply pours in. And for Christine, Janelle, Meri, and even Robyn, this court hearing isn't merely about justice. It's about taking back their voice after all those years of being overpowered. It's about standing within the same space where they were silenced before and finally uttering, "Enough." You can sense that energy, the transition from fear to freedom. It's not loud, but it's strong. Because at times the most dramatic thing isn't when someone screams or loses it. It's when someone finally stands up straight and decides not to be the victim anymore. As the testimony starts, as secrets spill out, as the man who was once at the center of it all sees his power slip away, you can't help but wonder, did he ever believe his own lies? Or did he ever get lost in them? And the women, the ones who remained, who believed, who hoped, what's next? After the truth, what does rebuilding even look like? This is not just a scandal. It's a reckoning. It's a reminder that however hard anyone tries to shape the narrative, the truth will always rise to the surface. So get comfortable. Because what follows is not so much a tale of one man's fall, but about resilience, justice, and the bravery it takes to confront the truth head-on. And after you learn what went on next, you'll see why this instant didn't only alter one family, it altered everything. Let's go inside that courtroom, where every phrase, every look, and every silence speaks for itself. The camera pans across a courtroom so charged you could practically hear the collective heartbeat of all the people inside it. Each breath is labored, each glance cast forward. Whispers of betrayal had plagued the Brown family for years. But no one could have envisioned that it would end like this. At the root of it all, Christine's attorney icily digs into a folder and produces a single sheet of paper, one that's about to turn their world around. It's a marriage certificate. Evidence that Kody secretly wed a fifth wife and never let anyone know. Robyn's face goes white with shock. She doesn't have a clue what's about to strike her, but the world is about to see her lose it. Now picture this. What would you do if you discovered in court that your spouse had a secret wedding? Let me know in the comments, because this tale is about to take a turn that no one saw coming. The trial commences like any other day. The courtroom remains in tense silence, the wood-paneled walls closing in on us like they can feel what is about to occur. Kody is seated at the defense table, jaw clenched, anxiously twirling a pen around his fingers. He is attempting to appear relaxed, but his slumped shoulders indicate otherwise. Robyn is sitting next to him, glassy-eyed but rigid, her hands clasped over the edge of the table as if holding on for an earthquake. Across from them, steady Christine sits, fierce eyes fixed on the man who once held dominion in their household. On either side of her, Meri and Janelle sit silently, their bodies firm, immovable. It's not about money anymore. It's about truth. It's about dignity. The judge brings the room into order. Papers rustle, attorneys murmur, but everyone senses the true storm has not yet started. Christine's attorney begins slowly poring over property records and money transactions. Sort of routine. Intended to make Kody believe this will be just another ho-hum day. Christine is not so naive though. Her eyes shine with inner tension. She's not here to only testify. She's here to reveal the truth. Kody leans forward, mumbling under his breath. This is nonsense. His tone is hard but tremulous. Christine does not even flinch. She knows what is about to happen will break his self-control utterly. Robyn hovers close to whisper something to him, but the camera records the shake in her hands. Her lips are unsteady. She can sense it. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. The judge nods. Proceed. Christine's attorney walks with careful serenity. The folder opens. The paper slides across the table, its ring ringing out in the courtroom like a shot. This, the attorney says, holding the paper aloft, isn't a property record. This is a certified certificate of marriage. The room comes to an absolute stop. Kody's head whips up, eyes opened wide. Robyn clutches the table so tightly her knuckles are white. Christine permits herself the briefest, iciest smile. It proves, the attorney goes on, that Mr. Kody Brown contracted a legal marriage with someone else. A woman, a woman months ago before this trial ever started. He's denied it publicly. Denied it to his wives. Denied it here. But the paper does not lie. Silence. Complete choking silence. The judge puts on his glasses, reading the paper. Kody stammers, that's not real. That's a mistake. But here it is. The official stamp, the signature, the date, and most incriminating of all, the woman's name. Robyn gasps. It's clean, harsh, almost feral. No, this can't be, she breathes. But the microphones pick it up. The entire world hears her shock. Christine observes her, not with sympathy, but with the studious satisfaction of a person who's finally being believed. Meri shuts her eyes, preparing herself. Janelle breathes deeply, like she's held this moment on reserve for years. The attorney allows the silence to hang, allowing the power of truth to fill the room. Then screech. Kody's chair pulls back. He jumps up, face flushed, shaking with fury. The judge's gavel splits the air. Mr. Brown, get a grip. Robyn grabs his arm, but her hand slips away. Tears run down her face, smearing makeup. She glances around. The cameras, the crowd, the wives. And she understands that this is more than betrayal. This is public humiliation. The fifth wife's name spreads through the room in whispers. Reporters write furiously. Cameras zoom in, and just when it seems like the tension can't become any tighter, Christine's attorney unleashes one final bombshell. Your Honor, he continues. This woman, the one whose name is on this certificate, is due to testify today. And she's here already. The courtroom doors groan open. A bailiff enters with a woman in tow. She's pale and shaking, but her chin is up. The fifth wife, gasps, spread across the room. Christine glares at her. Robyn emits a shattered sob. What happens when betrayal isn't just whispered behind closed doors, but dragged into court for the whole world to see? The session ends with that haunting image. The fifth wife standing there, the marriage certificate lying flat on the judge's desk like a loaded weapon. Robyn buries her face in her hands. Kody sits frozen, staring at the wreckage of everything he's built. The room barely breathes. The judge's voice shatters the silence. Mr. Brown, do you deny that this is your legal wife? Kody bangs his fist on the table. This is a setup. A manipulation. They're turning everything around to embarrass me. His voice thunderous. But the desperation seeps through. Christine looks at him. Her face serene. Almost triumphant. She's been waiting years. Meri and Janelle exchange a look. They don't need to speak. Their silence speaks volumes. Meanwhile, Robyn spirals. She rocks in her seat, whispering through her tears. He promised me. He promised I was the last. Mascara streaks her cheeks. Her body trembles. When lies collapse, they don't fall quietly. They crash, shaking everyone around them. And then the fifth wife speaks. Her voice shaking but defiant. I did not come to hide, she says. I came because I was promised protection. I did not know it would be like this. Even the bailiffs hesitate. Christine's attorney raises the certificate aloft. This is no forgery. It's a state-certified document. Mr. Brown, you perjured yourself. You perjured this court, and you perjured every woman in this room. The judge bangs down the gavel once more. Enough. You will have your day. The cameras close in on Robyn, her face twisted in sorrow, her hands clenched around the table, as though grasping for a world that's already lost. ChatGPT wrote, Robyn's scream cuts through the quiet like a knife, raw, painful, and laced with incredulity. Why? She bellows, shaking but with a keenness that cuts through the air. Why would you do this to me, Kody? Why would you introduce her into our lives? Kody attempts to stretch out to her, arm extended, but Robyn flinches as if his very touch scorches her. Her weeping rebounds off the walls of the courtroom, ricocheting like broken glass. There are times in life when truth doesn't merely shatter trust, it utterly devastates the world you believed you inhabited. The fifth wife turns to Robyn, her expression hesitant, almost guilty. I didn't ask for this, she says softly. He came to me, he said he was free, that his wives didn't matter anymore. He told me I'd be the only one. The words hang heavy in the air. Robyn emits a sound that doesn't even sound human. It's not merely heartbreak. It's the sound of a woman seeing her whole sense of self disintegrate. For years, she constructed her universe on the premise of being the last wife, the legal one, the preferred one. And now, in the face of cameras, reporters, and millions who were viewing from home, that fantasy has blown to dust. The judge orders the bailiffs to escort the woman forward, but before they can move, the courtroom erupts into chaos. Reporters shout questions. Christine's lawyer demands answers. Kody slams his hand on the table, his voice rising above the noise. The air feels charged, electric, about to explode. Then, out of the chaos, Meri's voice cuts through, steady, cold, controlled. So all those nights you were gone, all those lost checks, all those falsehoods, we were correct, weren't we? It was her. Kody turns on her, anger blazing in his eyes. Don't you dare. But Christine cuts him off, her voice clear, powerful, commanding the room. Stop acting, Kody. We know what's real. The room explodes once more. Reporters yelling, cameras clicking, gasps ringing through the chamber. And then, abruptly, Robyn screams. It's not a cry, it's primal, animalistic, the beat of a woman's heart ripping open in public. She runs toward the officers, clawing, begging. No, you can't take her. Not in front of everyone. When someone's fantasy dies, it does not fall apart quietly. It explodes. The bailiff sees Robyn, pinning her back as she flails about. Her hair is tangled over her eyes, mascara smudged into black stripes. You destroyed me, Kody, she cries. You destroyed everything. Kody, backed against a wall, and beads of sweat dripping down his face, struggles to regain his calm. This isn't my fault. She did it on her own. His voice breaks under stress, more protest than persuasive. Christine stands, her tone crisp and unyielding. Stop lying, Kody. Everyone knows you planned this. You used them, both of them. The judge's gavel comes down. Order. Order in the court. But order is lost. Robyn falls to the floor, crying wildly, hands over her face as the cameras close in. Each tear, each scream, each degrading second is aired live. The fifth wife, handcuffed now, is taken to the back doors. Her voice shakes as she glances over her shoulder at Robyn. Used you too. Used all of us. Don't you get it? He loved no one. The words cut like a knife. Robyn cries out once more, half pain, half fury, as she makes another attempt, screaming Kody's name, pleading for an undoing that will never be. But Kody simply sits there, pale, frozen, and wide-eyed, as all he worked for goes down in ruins before the world. Sometimes the truth doesn't just tear down reputations, it tears down the men and women who constructed their own lives on falsehoods. The judge finally bangs down his gavel, his voice tight and tired. This court will reconvene when order has been restored. Take away the defendant and the arrested party at once. The bailiffs lead the fifth wife away. Her screams echo down the corridor. Robyn stays on the floor, shaking, shattered. Kody looks at the judge through glassy eyes, defiant and crushed. Over in the corner of the room, Christine, Janelle, and Meri share knowing glances. They have watched Kody fail before, but never like this. This is not just the dissolution of a marriage. This is the crumbling of an empire, brick by brick, on national television. And just as soon as everyone believes it's done, Your Honor, a federal agent calls out from the rear of the courtroom. We found one more piece of evidence. Documents directly related to Mr. Brown's private signature. He displays a sealed envelope. The room freezes. The judge scowls, gesturing for him to continue. The wives lean forward. Even Robyn, still lying on the floor, raises her head. Whatever's in that envelope could kill them all. The agent moves closer. The envelope is small but feels heavy, like a grenade waiting to explode. The judge nods. Open it. The agent breaks the seal. The tearing of paper is ear-shattering. Slowly he pulls out a few sheets of paper, signed papers. These, the agent continues, are financial authorizations, all signed by Kody Brown. Each one is withdrawing funds from the family trust into two accounts, one in the woman arrested today's name, and one in Mrs. Robyn Brown's. Gasps erupt in the courtroom. Robyn's body stiffens. No, she whispers, shaking her head. No, not me. Please, not me. But the paper doesn't lie. The judge scrutinizes the papers. He seemed to be authentic. Stamps, handwriting, all matching. He glares up. Mr. Brown, don't you deny these are your signatures? Kody hunches forward, his face flushing, his voice shaking. They manipulated me. I didn't see what I was signing. They snuck those in. I was intimidated. This is a trap. The agent's face doesn't change. Each document carries your signed and verified initials. Mr. Brown. No forgeries. These were intentional. Christine's attorney moves forward, her voice cutting through the air. While these women were having children, maintaining homes, giving up everything, they were being robbed blind. Kody was channeling their funds into secret funds to finance an undercover marriage. And Robyn, whether unwittingly or not, was his cover. The cameras shift to Robyn. Her face contorts, tears streaming. I didn't know, she wails. He said it was for taxes, for bills. Kody pounds his fists on the table. Stop crying, Robyn. You knew, you wanted the house, the cars, the lifestyle. Don't play dumb now. The courtroom explodes. Gasps, murmurs, reporters writing frantically. Robyn screams back, her voice shattering. You monster, you pulled me into this. You lied to me, you lied to everyone. And now you're throwing me under the bus to save your own skin. She leans against her chair, shaking with sorrow. The greatest cruelty is not always the lie. It's when the person you trusted most puts your name on their lips to ruin you. The judge bangs his gavel again. Order, order in the court. But the wives aren't quiet anymore. Meri gets up first, voice icy and slicing. You lied to me for years that I was nothing, disposable, and all along you were stealing from us, signing over what we'd built. You said I was bitter, jealous, but I wasn't blind, Kody. I saw what you were doing. Janelle's tone is less heated, but equally biting. You figured nobody would follow it. But money has a trail, and you scattered yours all over the place. Christine's voice shakes with the rage pent up over the years as she leans forward. You broke up this family for greed, and now the truth is sitting here, in black and white. You can no longer hide. Kody scowls at them, his face contorted in anger. You think you're innocent? You all robbed me. You lived off me, and now you have the nerve to stand there and judge me? His words ring out, but are empty, pleading. The judge addresses the agent. These documents will be entered into evidence. This court now acknowledges the possibility of fraud, perjury, and embezzlement. The wives look at each other. This is no longer merely a family dispute. It's a full-blown scandal, televised live to the world. The courtroom buzzes with electricity. Each gasp, each beat of the heart, seems to reverberate off the marble. Robyn hides her face in her hands, her quiet sobs muffled but unmistakable. When at last she raises her head, mascara has streamed down her cheeks in dark rivers, her eyes swollen, crazy, full of betrayal, fix on Kody. I loved you, she breathes, shaking her head slowly. I gave up everything for you. And this is how you repay me. Kody can't even meet her eyes. His silence is more telling than any denial ever would be. Sometimes the silence from a guilty man booms louder than a confession. The judge, visibly uncomfortable, starts to call a brief recess. But before the gavel comes down, the federal agent advances once more. Your Honor, he says, his voice firm but charged. There's one additional piece of evidence related to these transfers. It isn't money, it's property. The deed to the Arizona mansion. Christine's head shoots up. Janelle gasps. Meri's lips curve into a knowing cold smile. And then, Robyn shrieks. Not a scream of horror, but a raw, blood-curdling howl. No, not the house. You promised me. She dashes at the table, but the bailiffs grab her before she can get to Kody. Her weeping is wild, echoing, fractured, desperate. Kody has the face of a man witnessing his own world go up in flames. He is ghost white, his jaw quivering, his eyes helplessly darting. The mask he has worn for years is stripped away. The agent hoists the paper high. This deed was sold to a shell corporation 3 weeks ago, before this trial started. Signed by Kody Brown, on behalf of Robyn Brown. The judge halts in mid-gesture. Christine gasps once more. Robyn slumps in the bailiff's grasp, her body folding in upon itself, as the courtroom descends into pandemonium. Screaming reporters, photographers flashing like lightning. Robyn is rushed back to her seat, her tears now parched. Ragged gasps. The act rests on the judge's bench. Its silent, deadly power. Kody can't look away from it. His fists clench so tightly. His knuckles are white. He attempts to appear tough, but the fear in his eyes gives him away. This, the judge intones sternly, is a matter of criminal concern. The court requires complete disclosure of all related documents. His voice is brusque, but his eyes flash, half outrage, half revulsion. Christine's attorney stands up. Your Honor, the wives have not been surprised. We've gathered evidence directly connecting these phony transfers to Kody Brown, but also to shell companies with affiliations to Robyn Brown. May we introduce? The judge nods. The room shifts full of intent. Christine, Janelle and Meri glance at one another. Their connection strong, unspoken. Christine approaches first. This, she sets down a thick binder, is an account book. I discovered it in a box lock. It details the trust withdrawals to the penny, and every suspicious amount corresponds to deposits into accounts in the name of Kody's fifth wife. A ripple of gasps flows through the room. The judge pages through them, scowling. The figures create a perfect line, the sort left behind only by truth and greed. Money doesn't lie, it leaves prints. Kody erupts. You took that. That's private. It's inadmissible. But the judge silences him with an icy stare. It will be reviewed. Then Janelle moves into the forefront, controlled and measured. This is a bank statement. She holds up several printed pages. My name was still linked to the family trust when these transfers were processed. That indicates they were made under false circumstances. If my name was used without my authorization, that's fraud. Simple as that. She places it on the desk. It's merely paper, but in this moment, it could be dynamite. Robyn shakes her head violently. No, not her name too. He told me it was clean. He told me it was only paperwork. Her voice breaks, shaking. He told me that if I loved him, I'd sign. The room erupts with gasps. Christine blinks rapidly, pain crossing her face. Janelle lets out a slow breath. Meri mutters under her breath. There it is. And then after all those years of silence, Meri gets up. Her voice is calm, though it shakes with the burden of all that she's carried inside. The hardest thing about betrayal, she says softly, isn't the lie, it's when you understand that the person you loved the most made you take the fall. The judge inclines his head. Mrs. Brown, you are not obligated to say anything more, but if you want to defend yourself, think very hard about the evidence. Coercion is a serious offense. Robyn's sobs grow louder. She puts her hands together, as if in prayer. He said it was for us. He said the others were jealous, that they'd destroy us if I didn't sign. Her voice cracks. He said, if you love me, you'll do it. Kody thumps his fist on the table. Stop distorting this. You knew precisely what you were doing. You coveted the mansion, the money, the lifestyle. His rage breaks like thunder in the courtroom. Mr. Brown, the judge growls. Compose yourself, or I'll have you taken out. But Kody's falling apart. He points at Robyn, yelling, his voice unhinged. You think they'll save you? They loathe you. They always have. If you flip, you're finished. They'll destroy you. Robyn gazes up, her eyes brimming with tears. You already destroyed me, Kody. Her voice is quiet, but it cuts through the din like a blade. The type of truth that only someone who's lost everything can provide. Christine's attorney pounces. Your Honor, it is evident Mrs. Brown was coerced into signing by duress. She ought to be treated as a victim, not an accomplice, and a witness. Lies. Kody yells, flailing as the bailiffs advance. This is my family. You can't take it away from me. The cameras flash again and again, capturing the man who once demanded loyalty from 4 wives, now restrained like a criminal. His empire, his pride, his control, crumbling. Robyn's voice trembles. I can't do this anymore. I'll testify. I'll tell the truth. Christine's eyes glisten with vindication. Janelle nods slowly. Meri lets out a quiet, knowing breath. Kody bellows. No, don't you dare betray me. His voice breaks. It's not fury now, it's desperation. When the loudest person in the room begins begging, you know who's in charge. Order. The judge insists. Mrs. Brown, you will have a chance to make a complete statement under oath. Robyn nods through tears. I'll do it. Kody struggles, bailiffs holding him in place as he howls. This isn't over. You'll regret this. All of you. But now it's too late. His threats ring empty. The room is against him now. Christine's attorney steps forward. Your Honor, with the testimony of Mrs. Brown, we can reveal the total extent of this fraud. We request the federal agents stay for coordination with her statement. So ordered, responds the judge. The courtroom is abuzz. Reporters murmuring, cameras snapping. History is being made right there under the fluorescent lights. Just as Robyn takes a deep breath to speak, the head federal agent holds up a hand. Your Honor, he says calmly. Before Mrs. Brown testifies, we have one last piece of evidence. Found yesterday, a secret account containing over $1 million. The room erupts in shock. Kody stiffens, his eyes wide with fear. Robyn's sobbing freezes in mid-air as she looks at the agent. The nightmare isn't finished. Not by a long shot. Christine holds the table so tight her knuckles whiten. Her jaw is clamped, her eyes narrowed. Next to her, Janelle's mouth sets in a thin line, the prelude to a storm. Meri rests back in her chair, arms crossed, her eyes firmly on Kody, cold, unblinking, almost smug. Then Robyn shudders, her voice shaking. No, no, not me. I never saw $1 million. I never handled it. The anguish in her voice rings out through the quiet courtroom. Kody's hand crashes down on the table so violently that papers scatter into the air. That money is not what you think. It was business, just business. I had to transfer it to keep us safe. The judge frowns, his eyes narrowing. Protect whom, Mr. Brown? Yourself? His voice cuts through the tension like a knife. For when cash appears that no one can account for, the silence about it screams the loudest. The agent opens a bulky file, moving through the evidence with smooth deliberation. This account, he states, was opened in a Nevada LLC. The owner listed Robyn Brown, authorized signer Kody Brown, and each large withdrawal coincides with the dates. Funds went missing from the family trust. Christine's attorney moves forward, voice icy and cutting. So the money that was supposed to go to the kids, for mortgages, for day-to-day living, was routed into a secret fund in their control. The reporters struggle to keep pace, pens scratching on notebooks, cameras firing off shots. The entire nation is watching. Robyn grabs her chest, her breathing fast and shallow. I didn't know, she wails. He said it was just paperwork. He said my name didn't count. Kody snaps, venom dripping from his voice. Stop acting like that. You knew what it was. You signed everything I presented you with. You didn't ask questions because you enjoyed the life. Robyn's cries reach a higher pitch. How could you? You brought me into this chaos. You said I was your partner, your sole one, and now you cast me out like a wolf to devour me. The air in the courtroom becomes charged, electrified with tension. When two prevaricators turn against each other, the truth begins to seep through, one piercing edge at a time. Order, the judge booms, banging his gavel. But even that cannot hold back the tempest raging behind those four walls. Christine stands, her voice firm and icy. Your Honor, this is precisely what we've been saying for years. He took advantage of us all, our names, our trust, our lives. And now that he's caught, he blames everyone but himself. Janelle continues, composed but biting. This isn't about family anymore. This is about fraud, theft, betrayal. We ask the account be frozen forthwith. The judge nods to the agent. Proceed. The agent places a paper on the bench. The Department of Justice sees the account already. All the funds are frozen. Kody's face pales. His secret, his last refuge, lost in an instant. His chest rises and falls. His breathing ragged, panic seeping in. He looks like he might collapse for a split second. Robyn glares at him, her words a mere whisper. Was it ever real, Kody? Or did it always come down to money and control? Kody is silent. He doesn't need to be. His silence speaks loudly. There are times that silence isn't peace. It's the whisper of an adulterous man as he watches his empire crumble. The wives exchange a look. No smiles, no celebrating, only the heavy burden of long-awaited truth. Then Kody blows his top. This is a setup, he shouts. They're framing me. You think I'm the only one who's transferred money? Christine, you'd better check your accounts. You're no saint. Christine remains upright, flames burning in her eyes. Check them all. Check every record, every signature. I've got nothing to hide. Can you say that about yourself? The judge leans forward, his voice thundering. Mr. Brown, you are on the brink of contempt. But Kody has lost it. He's trembling with fury, his shaking finger aimed at Robyn. And you were to stand with me. You told me you'd never betray me. And now you're taking their side. You're pathetic. Robyn's shriek shatters the courtroom. I can't do this anymore. She falls to her knees, weeping. I can't save you. Kody, you destroyed us all. The wives don't budge. They've witnessed his fury before, but this time it's consuming him whole. The judge bangs down his gavel, its ring resonating in the room. Enough, this court shall reconvene. Tomorrow with Mrs. Brown's entire testimony under oath. In addition to federal witness statements. Mr. Brown, get ready. This is no longer civil. This is criminal. Cameras close in on Kody's face, pale, shattered, cowering as Robyn cries at his feet. The following morning, the courtroom is heavier, quieter. The tumult has sunk into fear. Reporters fill every bench, cameras poised for the moment they know will arrive. Christine, Janelle and Meri sit together, quiet, intense. Their silence says everything. Then Kody appears, flanked by bailiffs. His face is hollow, colorless. The arrogant leader is missing. In his place is a man trapped by his own lies. Behind him Robyn trails. Her head is low, her pace hesitant and uncertain. Her hair is tied back properly, but her eyes red and puffed are the evidence of a night spent awake. She doesn't sit next to him, this time. She climbs onto the witness stand. The entire courtroom comes to an abrupt stop. The judge clears his throat. Mrs. Brown, you've been sworn in. Keep in mind that perjury is punishable by law. Do you understand? Robyn nods weakly. Yes, Your Honor. There are times in life when one word can make all the difference. A fortune, a family, a legacy. This is one of those times. Christine's attorney starts gently. Mrs. Brown, was your husband physically forcing you to sign financial forms related to these phony transfers? Robyn's lips shake, tears brimming her eyes. But this time her voice is steady. Yes, he said if I didn't, we'd lose everything. He said I had to keep him safe. He said the other wives wanted to kill me, and that if I didn't assist, he'd abandon me too. Gasps spread throughout the courtroom. Christine inclines forward, her face unreadable but intense. Janelle stands up straight. Meri gives a minute nod, nearly whispering at last under her breath. The attorney continues. And what about the Arizona mansion deed? The $1 million account? Robyn's tears overflow. I didn't know it was that much money. He said it was family funds, that he was just transferring it to shield us from taxes. I signed because he said I had no choice. Liar, Kody abruptly roars, his voice breaking. You loved it. You loved every dime, every luxury. The judge bangs his gavel. Mr. Brown, control yourself.